Hi everyone, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Anna, and you're listening to We Judge a Show by Its Pilot, a podcast hosted by us, a married couple with an endless love for TV.
Whether you're looking for a new show to binge or wanting to revisit an old classic, let us be your guide through the infinite list of TV shows.
So come join us every Friday as we discuss the pilot for a TV show while also sharing personal stories that parallel the storylines.
We Judge a Show by Its Pilot, where your new favorite show is just one click away. Hello everyone. Welcome back to our sexy pod.
Welcome. Hello, you look sexy today.
I'm going to have to amplify our audio because we're talking so low.
Oh, yeah. Sexy pod time.
I had to do it.
We had to.
We were just cracking each other up right before we started recording. I'm like, we're wasting the content.
Our
as
good
Angela would say.
vibe. Our good vibe.
Yeah. So this is going to be we're not going to be able to help ourselves. This is going to be a very silly episode because this show wasn't trying to be silly, but we just were cracking up the entire time. So we are continuing our month of TV shows with colors in the title. And I don't know. I know you came up with this idea.
Yes.
You can go on. You went on a website, or maybe you were just thinking of shows that started with that had colors in the title. But one of the first suggestions you made was Red Shoe Diaries.
Oh yeah,
and that's the show that's the pilot that we're judging today. But it was just really funny because I was like, I don't know if I ever watched this show. I mean, I was obviously very young when it came out. We didn't have Showtime, so there would be no reason.
I would expect you to watch.
There would be no
this.
reason for me to watch it, but I always heard about it, and I always heard about certain actors that were in it, and it is a show that, from what I understood, was essentially like softcore porn.
Oh yeah. This, I feel like, was Showtime's answer to HBO's Real Sex.
Right.
Yeah.
Real Sex was like actual porn, though.
That
right?
It was also, I don't know if this is the right way to describe it, but it was not only like shows, but it was also like educational too.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like
So we did have HBO
Yeah.
in the 90s at my dad's house, and we did watch some Real Sex, not as a family, just me and Tyler did. And there was a segment. It wasn't like an entire episode because I think that show was like done there were like segments of things, and there was one where a woman, like a middle-aged woman, would teach other women how to properly masturbate because a lot of these women, since this was the 90s, a lot of these women that were in their 40s and 50s and 30s, 40s, 50s at the time kind of grew up in an era where that type of education wasn't readily available like it is now, and so they are midlife, and they're divorced, or maybe they're hitting their sexual peak, which happens to women in their 40s.
Oh yeah.
They're like, I want to know how to get myself off. I really hope none of my family members are listening to this.
It's not even just about that. It was like there wasn't a lot of information about that unless you bought like The Joy of Sex.
Right.
And even that, because I don't know if we'll talk about that later, but even those kind of books were very, what I would call, clinical. I mean,
Right.
There was nothing, and as corny as it is, and we'll talk about it more, like there was nothing like that showed sexy time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you look at like the Book of Kama Sutra, who's actually doing
any
of those
God,
positions?
Right. Exactly. You go from one extreme to then the opposite.
It's like you can either get like a scientific education on sex, which is important. It is important to
our
have
bodies
knowledge
ourselves,
and to be informed, especially with our own bodies, but also about like safe sex and all the other things. And but I feel like there's there's also like the other where it's like something like Kama Sutra where it's like, yeah, and we call this one the figure 8 position where you're
intertwined,
you're hanging upside down and the other person's hanging upside down, but you're still doing it
face to face, back to back, whatever.
You're 96ing. Yeah. It's like
Exactly.
Yeah, we had to watch this episode twice because I wanted to. There was no because this show is so, I hate saying old, but because this show is older,
Vintage.
And it didn't stand, I mean, I could be honest, it didn't stand the test of time.
No.
It's not one of those shows that like it's not like a show like Twin Peaks or X-Files or My So-Called Life or something from the 90s where someone's like, oh yeah, that is still existing, that still has like a fan base. I'm pretty sure the Red Shoe Diaries fans are few and far between.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there are still some, but I mean, like, it's not a show that has like its own like fandom Wikipedia
There's
site.
no like Reddit thread on Red Shoe Diaries.
There is not. Believe it or not, I'm sure there's
we
a subreddit.
Might manifest it.
There's a subreddit for everything. I actually didn't look into that, but so I couldn't find a plot summary to kind of put into my own words. We had to rewatch the episode, which I'm kind of thinking is a really good thing to do for me to type up the plot summary, and it helps me pay attention to the episode. So so we had to rewatch it, and there were things that I picked up on the second time around.
And then we were laughing even more.
So we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of jokes to make. Luckily, we're not going to be telling stories because, y'all don't want to hear any of that.
No.
So Anna's going to do what she always does and give us some episode and series information.
Red Shoe Diaries, Safe Sex. Red Shoe Diaries was an American erotic drama anthology series that aired on Showtime from June 27th, 1992 to June 1st, 1997 for 5 seasons and a total of 66 episodes. The series was created by Zalman King and Patricia Louisiana Knopp. King and Knopp were a married couple that frequently collaborated on other erotic dramas such as Two Moon Junction, Wild Orchid, and 9.5 Weeks. That's like the 1980s, 90s trifecta of like faux sexy time movies. That is hilarious. The series follows Jake Winters, who places an ad in the newspaper under the alias Red Shoes, seeking women and their personal stories of love, romance, sex, passion, and betrayal. Each episode is devoted to one woman's story and begins and ends with Jake reading the stories and giving commentary to his dog, Stella. The first episode is about an unnamed woman who attempts to have a no-strings-attached relationship with a mysterious man she knows nothing about. David Duchovny plays the role of Jake Winters, also known as Red Shoes.
So great. That's so random.
It's so random. Since this is an anthology series, Duchovny was only a main character, although some actors would return as different characters. This episode features Stephen Bauer as the man, Joan Severance as the woman, and John Tolles Bay as the cab driver. Other actors to appear in the Red Shoe Diaries include Matt LeBlanc, Kate Jackson, Cheryl Lee, Ali Sheedy, and Denise Crosby. Although Safe Sex is considered the official pilot for Red Shoe Diaries, a pilot film aired on Showtime a month or so before the series premiered. The pilot film serves as a prequel to the series that focuses solely on Jake Winters. After the sudden death of his fiancée, he comes across her diary where he learned she was having an affair with a man who worked as a shoe salesman. So we can guess why the show is called The Red Shoe Diaries.
Yes.
The series was an instant hit and was the first major success for Showtime. Up until this point, no other premium cable channel could compete with HBO, but thanks to Red Shoe Diaries, Showtime was able to keep up with viewership. You can currently watch the entire series and the pilot film on Tubi.
I don't want to watch the movie now.
I know. I'm going to go ahead and admit, I know you usually ask me, did I watch this? And the answer is yes. This was the summer that my roommate Pam and I moved into our apartment townhouse in Monroe, Louisiana. We had been living in the sorority dorm. I had gone one extra year and had graduated that summer of 92, and then we moved into our apartment that fall. So we were doing all the adulting things, getting cable, getting things like HBO and Showtime. And like I said, I will admit, I was around 22, 23 years old at that time. And, I think we were thinking it was silly, but trying to see sexy time stuff, and that was on.
So what was your your like perception of it when you were watching it? Was it like you said? Was it just like y'all were laughing at it, or was it something that you were kind of like, what was it? Did you go into it thinking it was going to be porn, or did you go into it thinking it was going to be kind of like how it is?
I was
on other TV shows, but maybe with like more nudity, like a movie.
We were thinking it was going to be more like a movie of the week.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not like what soap operas are. Obviously, soap operas are like day to day in the hospital or at the like modeling agency or whatever. But I think we just like, because Real Sex had been on HBO already. HBO's Real Sex had initially started as some sexy stuff, but then evolved into like some of the education and group sex and communes and whatever. And then we saw Red Shoe Diaries, and we must have watched the movie.
Yeah.
Back then. So I don't know. I think we just thought it was sexy, silly,
something different.
Yeah, and again, we had Showtime, and you watched whatever was on these shows, and so I'm going to assume that was probably one of Showtime's first original content shows.
I believe so.
So, other than rewatching movies that were coming out, this was actually a show. So, we were 23 years old.
Right.
We didn't really know what we were doing, like living day to day, much less whether or not. I don't think we thought it was porn, because I will say my roommate and I did not sit around watching porn.
Right.
We just thought it was going to be maybe a heightened sexy drama.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So did you watch like the whole series, or did you just kind of watch it when you could?
Probably whenever we could.
Yeah, it wasn't like a show you kept up with.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, we lived in that apartment until 1995, and then I moved home. But she stayed there. But we probably watched it. I mean, we had cable. I mean, I don't think we like set our clocks and wrote like reminders on the calendar about it, but again, we watched whatever was on if we were both home, and we were both poor teachers, so we didn't go out, and there's not a lot super to do in Monroe, Louisiana. So
except watch Red Shoe Diaries.
Whatever day of the week it came out, we were on it.
So present day watching it, would you continue watching it? Honest answer?
Probably not, because it's very dated. It's very cheesy. I remember David Duchovny being a part of it, but I was jolted at seeing Stephen Bauer.
Okay.
I did not remember he was in the TV show pilot part.
Yeah.
Because when he came on, I was like, whoa, that's Stephen Bauer.
So what has Stephen Bauer been in?
He was in Scarface. He played Al Pacino's second-hand guy.
Yeah.
He was also in, recently, if you want to talk about this, he was in Breaking Bad. He was like the guy in Mexico where he poisoned them all with tequila.
Yeah.
He was also married, or I don't know if he was married to Melanie Griffith, but he has a son with Melanie Griffith. So,
okay.
Yeah, so he was around. He was kind of that like sexy Latin guy.
Traffic.
Oh yeah, in Traffic.
He
played the drug lord in Traffic.
That's I was like, there's a movie that
So he played Catherine Zeta-Jones's husband.
Yeah, I've watched that movie so many times.
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah.
As messed up and depressing as it is an extremely good movie.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of there with you. We can kind of sprinkle in what we thought of the pilot as we do the plot summary, because there was a lot of commentary between you and me while watching the episode. So it only feels natural that we will talk more about what we thought of the episode as we do the plot summary. But when it comes to wanting to continue watching, I think I would be more interested in finding out the episodes that certain actors were in.
Oh yeah.
Like I want to see like Denise Crosby is so random. Like I want to see
Ali
Sheedy, Matt LeBlanc, who that doesn't surprise me, but I mean, and that was 3 years before Friends came out, or 2 years before Friends came out?
Yeah, 2 years. So he was probably doing the gamut of trying to get credits.
Denise Crosby was like on Star Trek. So I mean, she's the wife from Pet Sematary, but I mean, like Star Trek was like her longtime gig. Ali Sheedy, who was like not America's sweetheart, but she was like a kind of like the girl next door type.
Yeah, she
so
had done obviously Breakfast Club,
Yeah.
St. Elmo's Fire, Oxford Blues. Short Circuit.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I would be more interested in finding like the actors like before they were famous, because I like doing that anyway. I always enjoy doing that with older shows, and just also seeing like their acting in it, because Joan Severance and Stephen Bauer both have amazing resumes, and they've been around for a very long time, and they're still active and they're still doing stuff. And they were they so yeah. So Stephen Bauer was like a working actor at this point because he had already done Scarface. So like. But their acting was so whatever. Their acting was so like, you know, I guess maybe when you're doing like an erotic type drama, I guess you have to be, like you just said a second ago, you mentioned soap operas, but like you do kind of have to have that like heightened dramatic acting maybe. But yeah, the fact that they have such extensive resumes and they were like in the middle of their like successful career when doing this is really surprising, because their acting was like below average.
But I think that's what's curious is
Yeah.
you and I would say they were successful. He had done Scarface, but
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? He may have been in his mind or his work a struggling actor.
Right.
I mean, he might have gotten like pigeonholed into those like Cuban
Tough guy,
gangster roles,
Yeah.
and he was trying to break out, wanting to be like the romantic lead or something. So. And then you have someone like Matt LeBlanc, who was maybe just trying to get started in LA and was just desperate for any credits to his, resume. So I just wonder, like everyone has a different reason for doing this show,
Right.
obviously.
And everyone has a different scale of what success is. I mean, like, especially maybe in the early 90s, there was a lot of, it's still like this today, but I feel like it was even more so back then. It was like 1 minute you're in and 1 minute you're out. And it was a little bit more like apparent back then. It's not so much now, where there are so many different avenues you can go down in the entertainment industry now. But like back then, it was like TV or movies, and that's it.
Oh, yeah.
And there was no reality TV, there was no streaming, there was no nothing. Like you had TV, you could do comedy or drama, or you did movies, and you had to stick to a genre. And like there was nothing, and you could only do one or the other. Like there's so few people that were successful in both until like 25 years ago. So yeah, I mean, like, it's just interesting to like, yeah, you do kind of want to get inside the head of these actors and be like, so you read the script to this and you were like, sign me up, because it's a paycheck, it's a paycheck, but also like it gets me exposure. And yeah, it's just really interesting. It's just I'm now kind of fascinated with the actors that were in this, and like we said, there were.
So Denise Crosby was the wife, right?
What,
in Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
So I wonder how old she was when she was doing this about, because that's also what I wonder is, was someone like Denise Crosby looking to be that sexy female lead? Because in Hollywood, once you turn 30,
she was like mid to late 30s.
That's exactly what I was about to say, was she was probably getting over the hill to Hollywood standards by that point. So she may have been like, oh, I can do this and show that I'm still sexy and I'm still hot. I don't know. I mean, I'm just making stuff up. But that to me is what shows like this could have done for someone.
Star Trek: The Next Generation had just ended.
Yeah.
That's why she had. Okay.
Yeah.
It all makes sense now.
I didn't even look at it. I mean, and that's just my perception of Hollywood is, again, one day you're in, one day you're out. Sorry, Heidi Klum. I'm not trying to steal your
She's back on
catchphrase.
Project Runway, off topic.
But I just feel like we see something as like, oh my God, you're a working actor.
Right.
They maybe had 100 auditions and hadn't gotten anything that we don't know about.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
It's kind of like, recently with a show that we're coming up to doing, and we can talk about this and Nepo babies and stuff, but like Patrick Schwarzenegger in The White Lotus, people all think that he got that because of his dad and his mom, actually. But he's like, you haven't seen all the auditions I didn't get. And so it hasn't been easy for me. And that's what we don't know about a lot of these actors and their audition lives.
The whole Nepo baby thing gets on my nerves, because it's not like parents don't help their kids get jobs
in
real life, in any other field. Like that's what, it's like we hold actors to such a high standard. It's so annoying. All right, so maybe keep watching the show in the context of like, oh, I found the Denise Crosby episode. Let's watch it. Like,
or Matt LeBlanc.
we found
whoever.
that episode. He did multiple episodes too.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
So yeah, I'd be interested in doing that. But so this whole show, obviously, we've joked about it. We've talked about it. This whole show is about sex. This whole show is about sexuality. It's going to come in all forms on this show, I'm assuming. It's not just going to be the same old thing. They made how many episodes of this thing? They made 66 episodes of this thing. You can't do the same thing over and over again. So I've always been so fascinated with the idea, and I was telling you about this the other night when we weren't recording, that I've always been so fascinated with the idea that not we, you and me, but just we, like, as a society, as humans, we are so fascinated with watching people have sex. And I've always wondered why. I'm not going to sit here and say I've never watched porn. I'm not going to sit here and say any of that, but like, it's always kind of been in the back of my head. I'm just like, they're doing something that, like, I would say maybe 1% of the people having sex out there are recording themselves and uploading it or making a porn or something like that. It's usually a lot of the same actors doing all the different porns, but just the idea that, like, we're watching people at, I mean, you could call me corny all you want, but like, we're watching people at their most intimate. Like, we're watching people, something that 90, I would say, I'll be a little lighter on it. 90% of the population, we are doing this in private, and we are doing this, people aren't watching us. Correct. But
why are we obsessed with watching other people?
Why do we feel entitled to watch other people have sex? Yes, they're putting it out there. Yes, most of them are, hopefully they're all getting paid. But some of them aren't. But, like, you're putting the content out there. But I've just always wondered, like, why we're so obsessed with it. Like, why is society so obsessed with porn?
I honestly have, and I think you can take it on different levels.
Yeah.
I mean, there is, like, the dirty, nasty porn, right, that you're just like, hi, I'm the photocopy fix-it guy. Oh, I'm the secretary. Bam, we're having sex. Yeah. And, like, it's ridiculous. Or you have the, like, hi, nice to meet you. All right, we're going to go to the bedroom and we're going to have sex.
Yeah.
I don't know, because again, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Friends in college, like, maybe got it from their boyfriend and we watched it or whatever. And I'll admit, yes, I've watched porn as well, but I don't know if I was ever, like, turned on by it. I always think I was more like, that looks really confusing. Yeah. Like, I would sit there and break it down like that, or like, but I also feel, and this is coming from the perspective of the girl, because that's who I am, is that I think porn does a real disservice to boys, because I think that boys use porn to think this is how sex happens.
Unfortunately, yes.
And they think, like, a woman can achieve orgasm in a couple of pumps and it's done. Yeah. Like, we're good. All right. I had my orgasm and you did too, apparently. Yeah. And that's what they think, because that's what it is in porn. Like, anyway, I don't know. I think we're obsessed because it's taboo.
Right.
We don't talk about it openly. Mm-hmm. I mean, we talk about it a lot more now. I mean, there's so much access to information. But back in the 90s, I will say there wasn't a lot of talk about it. Right. I mean, like I said, I had the Joy of Sex book as just interest to see what the book was. It was a popular book in the 70s. It was, again, a very taboo book. There were books, like, that were out there also, just novel wise, mm-hmm, but seeing it, I think, just takes it to a different level. Yeah. And I think sometimes I will say I would try to learn from it in the sense of how to be sexy, although I don't think they're very sexy. I think that was maybe my perception. And then when you would see the stupid ones, you were just like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do this, or that doesn't look sexy, or that doesn't look like it would feel good, or whatever.
That doesn't look anatomically possible.
That, yes. We're upside down, banged up against a wall in an alley at night. Yeah. So And they're making it sound like it's the most pleasurable thing.
Right.
And that's where I just start laughing because I'm like, okay, no one does this.
Right.
Like, what is this? And I always just wonder, like, who is making this and why do they think this is a good idea? They're
Right.
just trying to make money, I'm sure, of course. But I know I've rambled a lot. I don't know why. I think
Yeah.
it's because it's taboo. We're curious by
Yeah.
nature. Some people probably watch it because they don't get sex.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to be better and creative or want to feel sexy in some way. What do you think?
I think a lot of it is a fantasy. And I can only speak from a man's perspective, but I've had several male friends. It's not like we all sit around and talk about porn, but it's just like, when we were younger, yeah, I mean, it was a little bit, it was very taboo. It was even me growing up as a teenager in the late 90s and early 2000s, even though we were getting these very blunt talks about safe sex, because that was the era of kind of the beginning of teenagers being properly educated on sex and kind of getting the proper, like, we would prefer you to not have sex until, you're mentally mature enough. But if you're going to have sex, just wear a condom. Like, and that was honestly kind of like the late 90s mentality with premarital sex. It wasn't so much like abstinence. Probably in some plenty of corners of the country there were, but not where I was growing up. Not where I went to. I went to a public high school, so. I was getting the normal sex talks, and I had a mom that was a labor and delivery nurse. So I was very much getting the sex talk at home, and I was getting sex education at school. So I'm very grateful for that. But I think so much of it is there are men out there who just know that they think that what they watch with porn is better than what they're going to get in real life, because real life is not porn. And as much as we want to think, I'm sure that there are people out there who, maybe are inexperienced and watch porn and think like, oh, when I seduce a girl, it's going to be exactly like this. And it's never going to be like that.
Right.
I've never in my life watched a porn and been like, that's happened to me. I've been like, that's something I've experienced.
Exactly. That to me is the funny
It's not
part.
like I was ever watching porn so I could like relate to it. But I mean, it was just, when I was younger, it was definitely a fantasy, and it was like, it was all I had because I was a virgin. And so it was just like, that was fine. But then once I got more experience and once I got older, I would watch it and I would just be like, this isn't how it works, and so by kind of definition, it like really doesn't turn me on, and it really doesn't do anything for me, because it just kind of got to a point where I'm just like, that's not how it happens, I'm just like, that's not real life. And then the noises that they make, and it's just like, if you watched a porn and you were like, oh yeah, this is really hot, and then that happened to you in real life, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you would just be like, what are they doing? What are those noises? Like, what is this position that we're trying to do that is uncomfortable and not pleasurable for both of us? Like,
and I can tell you, obviously before we were together, I could tell a guy who had watched a lot of porn.
Yeah.
When they would try to make the moves on you, not on you, on me.
Yeah.
And you were just like, no.
Yeah.
Like, it just was like not good.
Can you tell me one that you remember?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, please, you've got to delete this part though.
Okay, you don't have to tell me. You can tell me later.
Okay.
Damn it. All right. I thought we were going to get something juicy. All
well,
right.
it is. Okay.
On the pod, though, but we don't. You can tell me later.
Okay.
I won't force it out of you.
I mean, I don't mind saying it. I don't want you to be upset. So
why would I be upset?
I don't know. Okay. So, all right.
I'm like the least jealous person ever.
I know.
On.
Obviously, this was a long time ago. So we were being intimate. And I mean, one of the big things in porn is making the women orgasm through what's called squirting.
Okay.
And he kept...
Might have to delete that word, but yes.
I know. He kept wanting to make that happen. And I'm just sitting here like, please stop. Like, that is a very porn thing. I mean, obviously, I'm sure people do that.
Yeah.
Like, as part of their sexual activity. But I think porn actors are professionals and can make their bodies do certain things, or they know the triggers to make them do certain things.
A lot of them have certain talents.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I do not have those talents. And I was like, please stop. Please stop. And he just kept thinking like it was going to be this amazing thing.
Anytime now.
Right. And I was just like, please stop. And so that to me was, I could tell he was a guy who watched porn, and that was pretty much it. So
and there's also kind of the flip side from a guy's perspective when you maybe a girl that didn't watch a lot of porn but took notes from porn thinking that is what guys want. I'm not saying that they watch a lot of porn because who knows, but I mean, like, I think I'm not gonna say it's different than guys and girls because I know just as many girls watch porn. It's just, it's a thing, but. Yeah, like I have been with girls who what I like to call make porn noises.
Oh yeah.
And very exaggerative sounds, very repetitive, saying the same like word over and over again. I'm not going to make the noises because that's weird, but I mean like
no, just kidding.
They made that noise. Like, are you all right?
You'd be like, babe, are you having a stroke? Sorry.
That was funny.
Y'all.
It's been a long day.
You know the sounds I don't make during sex.
Because that's this reaction is what would happen. No, but they would kind of make like girl porn noises, and it was the unsexiest thing, I think. I mean, not that you could ever do. There's plenty of other unsexy things you could do, but it was very much just like it kind of took me out of it, and I just kind of wanted to be like, and it's not like an insult towards me or I'm like putting myself down because that's not what it is. But like a part of me just wants to be like, okay, we've been like 30 seconds into this. There's no way it feels that good yet. You know what I mean?
And that's
like,
what I mean. It's like it works both ways. It's like she's faking it and he's trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we need to have a meeting of the minds at some point. But yeah, he just was thinking like, oh yeah, like I don't know if he expected liquid to come out of me gushing or something, but I think he did. I think he thought if I keep doing this, something will happen. And I was like, please stop.
God, I can't believe you didn't do that for him.
I know, I'm a loser. See, I needed to watch more Red Shoe Diaries.
I guess so. Oh,
I didn't know how to be sexy.
That's so funny. That's actually really funny.
I can't believe I said this on the pod. Please excuse anyone I know listening.
It's going to get edited down. Don't worry.
Okay.
There's going to be certain keywords that I'm going to have to take out.
Okay.
Like
Squirtle.
Or I'm going to have to tone those out too.
Okay.
All right. So we've had our conversation. I feel like I am drunk right now, and I am not. I think I've been laughing so hard.
Before we even started, we were cracking up about doing this one.
This is just this. I think this is just how we are when it comes to this certain type. Not like we're not doing this. I'm sorry. I'll probably take this out. We're not doing this when we have sex. We're just doing. We're
in bed right now.
We're not like laughing while we have sex. It's just like talking about it and like watching stuff. I think you and I are both like realists when it comes to a lot of things, and we don't fetishize or fantasize. We have our perfect person, our perfect match, the person we are compatible with. So
yes.
So speaking of which, so this episode is called Safe Sex. We will delve a little bit more into why it's called safe sex, because it's not exactly because we think of safe sex as like ways to prevent getting pregnant and getting STDs, but that's not exactly what that title infers to. But it does talk a lot about, like you said in the synopsis real quick, you said that this episode is about a woman who gets into a no strings attached relationship with another man who I'll talk about in the episode when I do the plot summary. It's like no names. We're not going to get to know each other. There's no small talk. You come to my apartment once a week and we're just going to have sex and that's it.
Yeah.
Do you believe, now I know for you personally might be different than how you feel personally about it, or how it is in real life might be different, but do you believe that people can have a sexual relationship without either one of them developing some type of romantic feelings? And those romantic feelings can also be confused with like getting territorial or just being a jealous person, but it may not be actual romantic feelings. I should probably be a little bit more broader with that, but like, do you think it's possible to just have a sexual relationship and not develop any other feelings?
I think that's hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
hopefully.
Yeah. I think if it's a long-term thing, I think easily both things can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like when you're having sex with someone, it's obviously like the most intimate thing you can do.
Right.
And especially if it's long-term, I feel like you want to have this relationship stay between the two of you, but if you've agreed not to be more than just sexual partners, what happens when one of the persons wants out? It's why when people talk about open relationships and I would have a partner for just sex and then I would have a partner for just like the financial benefits, and I'm like, well, what if your person for the financial benefits decided that they were going to get someone just for the sex? And what about the person if, you know, they were your sex person, decided they wanted to go and, you know, yachting with the rich lady that they met or whatever? And I'm like, when does it all like stop? I mean, or does it? I mean, you would be okay with that. And people have argued with me about it, and I still don't see, even in an open relationship, how you can't develop feelings, how you can't get territorial. I mean, I will even say in college, if, you know, you had your regular booty call person, you know, even if like that, I mean, sometimes there could be jealousy if you knew that they had another booty call person and you knew who they were or whatever. But again, you have to look back and go, you know, it's not like I want a long-term relationship with this person, but you kind of also didn't want that person hooking up with someone else. So I think there are the arguments about territorial versus romantical, and they could be separate, they could collide, and I think it's a difficult thing. I think it's really difficult to just make sex the relationship.
Right.
And so what about you? What do you think?
So I've never really been in a friends with benefits situation. I've either, and to me, there is a difference between friends with benefits and casually dating. I feel like those are two completely different things, because I feel like casually dating, there is, on both ends, there is the potential for something more. Whereas friends with benefits usually is a little bit more of like a no strings attached. Friends with benefits is just another word for a booty call. I mean, like, it's not like if they're not dating. If you're actually friends with someone and y'all decide to start having sex on the regular, y'all have more than just a no strings attached, because y'all already have a built-in friendship. So the whole term friends with benefits doesn't really make sense to me, but like, I think it is when it's just like a booty call, or if you want to call them a buddy or whatever you want to call them, I feel like that is different than a casual relationship, whereas that has potential for something more on both ends.
Well, I think the word dating in and of itself is separate than friends with benefits.
But then you refer to friends with benefits as a type of relationship. So then you're kind of also contradicting it a little bit.
Who, me?
No, just in general. The term in general. That's why I was trying to like differentiate the two. But yeah, like, I would, at the very least, I would be casually dating someone, or I would have a one night stand. Like, those are kind of my two things. But other than that, the people that I had relations with I was in a relationship with them. Like, that was normally what happened. I'm like really trying to stretch my brain, trying to think if I ever had like just a straight up no strings attached friends with benefits thing. And I don't think I ever did. I personally, as if I were in a situation, I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible for someone not to develop some type of feeling that has a string attached to it. Like, there just has to be, not has to, I'm sure there are going to be plenty of people who are going to argue that, because they have with me, just like with you. They've argued with me about it. Like, oh, well, I'm not talking about you personally. I'm talking about the person that you're with. Or like, it could be you, but like, it doesn't have to be both of them, but at least one person is going to develop jealousy. They're going to develop getting territorial. They're going to develop romantic feelings. And a lot of times when people enter a no strings attached, they already have feelings for each other. So it's like, that's the other thing. They just think that, oh, well, this is my way in. And then once they get to know me and we hang out, then they'll be more than just friends with benefits. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And then the whole thing with open relationships, I'm going to be honest, and there are plenty of people who are going to argue with me over this. I have never, ever once in my life heard of an open relationship that ended well. That didn't end, or that didn't end up.
That's keeping on,
or
that's still going.
Yeah, or that didn't turn into a closed relationship. Like, I mean, that's
of just two people.
Yeah, yes, because when any relationship that I've heard that had an open relationship, and they're like, oh yeah, well, we communicate with each other when we meet someone. I'm like, no, you don't. I'm just like, no, you don't, because I mean, I know Reddit isn't the entire world, and I know that's not everybody, but we both do listen to a lot of Reddit stories, and just about every single time, first of all, when your partner wants to come to you out of nowhere and wants an open relationship, they've met someone.
Oh,
they've already met someone. It's already started, and they just don't want to feel guilty progressing to the next level. And when you say no, they're just going to cheat on you. So, like, that's that. And when you enter a relationship as an open relationship, there's always going to be stuff that you're going to leave out to your partner, even though you say it's all good, it's all kosher, it's good, it's kosher, it's all good. It's not. And you're going to be keeping something from someone. And if you're in an open relationship, I'm sorry, you're not getting something from your partner that you need. That's my personal opinion.
And that's why I was using the whole thing about, like, this is my sexy person and this is my money person. But then I'm always like, well, what if that person has a person for sexy time that isn't you? What if they think you're like their emotional, fun game person, and then they have a sexy person and a finance person and a travel person and like, I don't know, whatever. And each person, my thing is like, how open is this relationship? Right. Like, how deep is it that you don't even know? And so that's why I just couldn't fathom saying I was part of an open relationship.
Honestly, if there's anyone listening that is in a successful open relationship, I genuinely want to hear your story, because I want to know how you do it and how you make it work, because I would find that truly impressive.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I've never heard of one that ended well. I've never heard of one that continued long term. It was always something brief.
That wasn't like a cult,
right?
Or some sort of.
So I mean, like that, we might be viewed as old-fashioned or traditional or maybe even narrow-minded when it comes to this thing, but it's not my personal opinion, because honestly, if you want to be polyamorous, go for it. If you want to be in an open relationship, I'm not going to judge you, but when something goes awry, I'm not going to be surprised by it. Right. I mean, like, I think that's ultimately what it is. Like, I'm not here to judge you, but when it backfires, I won't be surprised by it. I think that's ultimately my opinion about it.
Yeah.
We're not here to judge you. We're here to judge pilots.
I'm all like, if you do you, be safe, don't hurt anyone, but I don't get hurt. Yeah. I don't get hurt, but I feel like intimacy is truly between two people, right. And that can be female, male, 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 female, female, whichever gender,
non-binary,
all of it. But I feel like once you start trying to spread that love and maintain some sort of,
literally spread yourself too thin.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Spreading your leg. I'm just kidding.
Sorry. Stop. All right. You want to get into this pilot summary?
Yeah, let's get into it, because we have commentary for the episode.
Oh yeah.
So we will definitely be giving. All right, so we open the episode. So Red Shoe Diaries, plot summary. Wanting to understand more about women and their sexuality, Jake Winters places an ad under the alias, I think it's Red Shoe, but I wrote Red Shoes, Red Shoe, asking for women's stories of love, sex, passion, betrayal, etc. Jake receives a story from an unknown woman entitled Safe Sex. And so now we are entering the story. The woman, Joan Severance, will be narrating for the rest of the episode. I'm assuming that's how the women narrate the episodes. I'm assuming that's going to be the theme. Okay, so it was on Friday the 13th. The unnamed woman is having a pretty bad day, a day from hell, as she describes. Her car has broken down, her stocks have plummeted, and someone stole her jacket at the restaurant where she was having dinner, leaving her stranded in the middle of a rainstorm. The woman is trying to hail a taxi but has no luck. Suddenly, a cab pulls over and a friendly cab driver, a little too friendly, we'll get into that in a second.
Oh my gosh.
A friendly cab driver opens the door telling her that the man in the back offered the cab to her. He'll take her anywhere she wants to go. The woman is immediately dismissive, feeling a bit preyed upon. The man's head pops out of the cab and he insists she get in. He tells her that hailing a cab in the middle of a storm is nearly impossible and she'll catch the flu like he did once. Realizing she has no other option, the woman gets in the cab. After some small talk, the man notices the woman is drenched and is shaking from being cold. He offers his jacket to her, and when she says it'll get wet, he tells her to remove her blouse to properly warm up. She agrees to this after the cab driver insists. This cab driver, I don't know what his motives were, but he was trying to get these two
together
to hook up. The moment she got in the cab, he's like, you should take your blouse off, lady. So she agrees to this. After more small talk and some flirting, the man invites her to his apartment for some hot vegetable soup. And he kept saying vegetable soup, vegetable barley soup. And I'm just like, why are you saying it?
I know. It's so weird.
After she says no about 10 times, she finally says yes, mostly after the cab driver insists, which is what I'm saying. This cab driver was just like...
He's like, what are you doing? Why don't you go with him?
This stranger that you just met's offering you soup at his apartment. You should definitely go up to his apartment. Luckily, this guy doesn't end up being a psycho, so I think we're good with that.
But still not good advice to take.
Not at all. Okay, so the entire time we have sexy saxophone playing.
Oh, yeah.
We have sexy guitar riffs. Very early 90s, very what kind of reminds
Smooth
me
jazz.
Of a sexy version of the Melrose Place theme song.
Oh yeah.
Just to pop in Melrose Place once.
And it's kind of all filtered. It's all kind of smoky looking.
So the woman narrates and admits she isn't entirely sure why she agreed to go to his apartment. Maybe because she thought he was cute. Maybe she got a contact high from the cab driver's joint. That's what it was. He was stoned and he was just talking nonsense. Maybe it was because she was lonely. She says after enough heartbreaks, after being single long enough, you start to become cautious. The woman began focusing on her work, and even though it's lonely, it's safe. When she walks into this apartment, she sees that it's a fancy penthouse apartment. While making a drink, she overhears a voice message from another woman asking where the man is and to call him back. The woman is ready to leave, but the man begins to remove her jacket, technically his jacket. The woman, she's into it. Immediately, she goes from being completely sketched out, wanting to leave, to suddenly, I want to have sex with this dude.
It's immediate.
Drop of a hat. I'm not worried. This isn't a progression of time. This is within seconds.
Yes. I guess kind of like a porn.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
There you go.
They begin kissing, and we have our first Red Shoe Diaries sex scene. We get a full montage accompanied by sexy saxophone, sexy guitar riffs. It's mostly just an aerial view, which originally I was like, oh, they must be using body doubles. But there's a scene where Joan Severance is just full on naked on camera. So
yeah.
I'm assuming that was just we want you to get a good look at everything that's going on. So after they have sex, the woman says she has to go. The man stops her and tells her he wants to see her again. The woman assumes he means a date, but on the contrary, the man wants her to come over, have sex again, and then walk away again. Basically, the man offers the woman sex friends, fuck buddy, friends with benefits type situation, where she comes to his apartment once a week, they have sex, and then she'd leave. It's every Thursday. All right, the woman is a bit surprised by this, but then admits that this is the type of relationship she's always wanted. She gets to focus on her work and other aspects of her personal life. She gets a regular dose of that D, and she doesn't have to deal with all the baggage that a relationship can bring. No names, no small talk, just sex, and that's it. The relationship continues for a little while, and even though they say it's just sex only, it's clearly more than this, because he buys her jewelry. He bought her a pearl necklace.
I mean, come on.
I mean, can you get more
Sexual.
suggestive and sexual than that? As soon as he put it around her neck, I'm like, he just gave her a pearl necklace, and we both just started laughing.
And mind you, while he's doing this, is this the scene where she's butt naked in front of the mirror?
Okay, so this is the first time that they stand in front of a mirror and have a naked conversation with their reflections.
Yes.
I don't know what director was like, here we go, this is it. Because this is the first scene where they literally are looking at each other in a mirror naked, having a sexy conversation. And she's just full on naked.
Full on, full frontal.
They love to. He's buying her jewelry. They naked dance in front of mirrors. I even wrote that. It's very clearly that like they're not just like having sex or how a lot of people would determine. They are passionately having sex. You could very easily say that they're making love if you were to categorize what type of sex this is. Yeah, so quite possibly, yeah. So I have to say, like, this is quite possibly like, I'm not gonna say it was completely unsexy, but it was pretty not sexy for it intentionally trying to be a sexy scene.
Right, and that's what I think that I get from watching this, going like, oh my God, would a guy expect me to do this? Like I would watch this and be like, what is happening? The thought of myself standing in front of a mirror with a guy putting jewelry on me and then like, okay, let's have sex.
Let's dance.
Let's dance and then have sex.
Let's dance in front of the mirror and then have sex. So just a funny note, this has nothing to do with anything, but we see the woman at her job. I don't know if like lighting wasn't in the budget.
It was like pitch black. It was like
practically. She's a photographer. She was not in a dark room. She was in an office setting
at a
desk, and there was no lighting. It was like they were doing work in the dark, and she had like a little desk lamp. It was both times we watched it, I thought maybe I'd exaggerated it in my mind, and then we watched it the second time. I'm like, no, that office is pitch black. One night while waiting at the man's apartment. I skipped something. We have a second in front of the mirror conversation, but this time she's dressed up as a dominatrix, and they do some BDSM stuff, which for BDSM for Red Shoe Diaries is her putting on leather and her just like dancing around.
Yeah.
We don't actually see any BDSM going on. Just her dressed up as a dominatrix. So one night while waiting at the man's apartment, the woman is pouring herself a glass of wine and notices his mail on the counter. She knew the rules, but she couldn't help herself. She needed to know more about him. She learns his name, Michael. I could not make out what the last name was because the audio was so low, and Tubi doesn't have captions for this episode. Maybe they did. I couldn't find it, so it was Michael something. And she only says Michael from then on, so we never hear his last name again. The man walks in on her, and she apologized, but he reminds her that they made an agreement. The woman realizes it's now over and leaves his apartment, but not before telling him off for ending things over something so trivial. He chases after her, and then they just bang in the hallway. They just bang in the apartment hallway, because people do that. Once again, in front of a mirror. Wow, that's the third mirror thing. I didn't even think about that. All right. The next day, while at work, the woman gets a call from home. Her brother has passed away. The woman goes to the man's apartment in tears. He asks why she's here, because he was like, why are you here? It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
You're here. You're supposed to be here.
It's not hump. It's hump day, but not that hump day.
You're supposed to be getting here, I think, Thursday. She tells him her brother died. The man takes care of the woman, makes her tea. They don't have sex, but share an intimate moment when she shares her personal life with him. So I may have to contradict myself from what I said earlier, because I'm saying that porn, when people are having sex, they're at their most intimate. But I now will argue that there are things more intimate than having sex when it comes to relationships. I'll just kind of go ahead and say it. I think you and I opening up about things that were really personal to us and that were really hard to talk about, things that we don't share with everyone, I think that is much more intimate than having sex.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I kind of have to recount what I said earlier, although it is something physically the most intimate. Yeah. But in general, I would say sex, is not the most intimate thing you can do with a partner. Because, I mean, like, there's just, after you have that type of connection, you just have so much trust in them, and I feel like that is so much.
That's big
to me. That is extremely sexy. The next thing, the woman comes home. Yeah, the woman comes home from the funeral, and the woman goes home for the funeral and to be with her family. She returns to the city after 2 weeks. When the woman returns to the man's apartment, the security guard tells her he's gone, but left a note. After sharing the intimate night together, the man said they broke their agreement and they couldn't see each other anymore. Over the next 3 months, the woman tries to distract herself with work. She prayed she'd see him again. After meeting Michael and now losing him, the woman realizes that she was ready to accept the compromise of a relationship, face the dangers and the pain. Then one day, out of the blue, Michael calls her at work. He says he wants to try again, but this time, no limits, no rules. Now the ball is in her court. We see Michael walking across the street to the woman who is driving an old school red car of some kind, and she's wearing what looks like a swimsuit cover. but sexy, I guess, because it was black.
Yeah.
They start making out on the hood of a car. She grabs his junk, I think starts giving him a handy, and then the episode ends. Oh, no, then the story ends. Sorry, the episode does not end. We cut back to Jake walking with his dog Stella after reading the story. He tells Stella, and this is a direct quote. I had to pause it a couple times so I can get the dialogue right. There you have it. You go to bed with a stranger, and they can still be a stranger. If you go to bed with them again, they stop being a stranger. Really deep. Really, really profound and deep
Really,
there.
yeah.
She was so sure that she could keep her mind separate from her heart, but what she found out was that there is no escaping emotion. There is no such thing as safe sex. And just like that, I have to steal from another show. We have our first sexy episode for this sexy show, and the ending of the story is, let's try monogamy. I couldn't get over that.
Yeah.
I couldn't get over it. I was like, we have this new, edgy, sexy show. First episode. Let's try dating each other.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so funny.
It starts like way off, like this is going to be all about fuck buddies and open sex.
I was expecting
porn.
the stories. I was expecting the story to be that he had like a secret family, or that he was married, because that was very much kind of like a Lifetime movie kind of thing of the 90s, where it was like, this man has 3 wives and 3 different lives. And I thought maybe it was something like that. Maybe like he was involved in some type of like drug, like how did he get this fancy apartment? Like I was thinking of that stuff. The ending of the story, or the twist of the story, being that they fell in love with each other and they're going to be in a relationship. I got to be honest, I didn't see that coming. The logical conclusion of most romantic stories, I did not come to that logical conclusion, because I thought this was going to be sexy sex time, and maybe there's a lot more of that in other episodes. I just thought it was interesting that they decided that this was going to be their pilot, because I gotta give it some heavy criticism. You really didn't. I want to see like a promo for this show, like before the show aired, like how they were trying to sell the show, because this was just not what I thought it was going to be. This was just a Lifetime movie with nudity. I mean, that's all it really.
That's a good.
That's all it really was to me, and like I think that's why I kind of was like, I'm not going to say I hated it. I was definitely entertained by it. I definitely got a kick out of it. Pilots are tricky, especially with anthology. You're with an anthology series, you're like, this is our first episode, but the next episode's gonna be different, so you need to watch the second It's anthology series are tricky, and so it's just like, I am interested in watching more, but like I said, I'm more interested in watching like celebrities before they were famous episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you are someone that you like, I'll kind of go ahead. If you are someone that you like watching Lifetime movies, if you like watching, are Hallmark movies sexy, or are they more wholesome?
Wholesome.
Okay. So if you're into like Lifetime movies, or if you're that person that likes to listen to erotic audiobooks, or read fantasy, like romantic fantasy erotic novels, because there is an abundance of those now that audiobooks exist. But I would recommend this just so you can watch it, because it is, to me, it's of that nature. It was not. I know we kept joking about this being like softcore porn. It was not softcore porn at all. It was very tame. I know it was early 90s, but it was on Showtime. I was expecting like sex scenes. I was expecting like the exaggerative, like, and it was kind of like that, but I was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't, but it was not this. Like, I was not expecting like I keep joking about, like, let's try being in a relationship. Like, I was not expecting that to be the twist of the episode.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about the whole episode as a whole, and the twist and all of that? I keep calling it a twist because, I mean, it's different from how they started.
It was, I mean, I'm going to say, I don't remember what I remembered about it. I knew it was cheesy.
Yeah.
I didn't remember it being anything like, true educational or truly really something very sexy. I knew it was cheesy sexy, and it was all of those things.
Yeah.
So it was what I remembered the show to be, and it was trying to be that to compete with Real Sex on HBO. I mean, that was really what it was.
Yeah.
And I think it lived up to that hype then. I mean, I don't think I thought it was going to be this amazing thing.
Yeah.
I think it was just something for us to watch on a Friday or Saturday night that was sexy-ish for the times.
Yeah.
And it delivered on that
Right.
in that aspect. I mean, there wasn't much out there. So,
Right. All right, so this was a silly episode.
Yeah.
I had a good time on this one. I learned I got a new story. I got a new story from my boo that I'd never heard of before. So once again, I'm gonna have to cut it down. But
Yeah,
you got the basis
You know some
of it.
stuff about me that may be too much for the pod. I
Well,
hope.
maybe one day I will divulge some very intimate information about myself.
I mean, whatever. We were both virgins when we got married,
Exactly.
right? Okay.
Exactly. All right. I think that wraps up this one. Wrap up this episode and wrap up your pee-pee before you have sex.
Yes.
Well, that wraps up this episode of We Judge a Show by its pilot. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and follow us on whichever platform you're listening to this podcast on. That way you'll be notified every time we publish a new episode. You can also follow us on Instagram at We Judge Pilot Pod. We're also on Facebook. You can leave us a comment, suggest a show for us to watch, or leave some emojis in the comments. What you got?
All right. Finally, the red shoe.
So we finally have an emoji that fully represents the show. Is there a diary emoji as well?
There's a book. So,
Okay.
yeah.
But the fact that there's a red shoe, that's
yeah.
pretty awesome.
The red car, the cab, rain, the snowflake for winters, the letter, the soup emoji, the sick emoji, broken heart, kissing, the guitar, the saxophone. There is a mirror.
Yes.
The oyster to represent the pearl necklace, the baggage, the dancing, the wine.
That's good.
The ball, the hand to represent the hood handy, and the puppy emoji. All right, well, we are going to head out, but we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening.